It's been 10 years since the Horsemen last appeared. But we are back!
I love the way that's like the original Horsemen, as I guess we are now calling ourselves as a euphemism for older.
That whiskey's older than you.
I love being with these guys.
Such a fun role to re-inhabit. Did you miss us?
It's a group of people who genuinely love each other, and we try to bring that to the screen.
Yes, we vanished for a while, but in the world of magic, everything that disappears reappears. Well, at least if the trick is done right.
Why not the other Horsemen?
No, the other Horsemen are dead.
What?
To me, they're dead to me. Stop interrupting.
I think that one of the things that I was really proud of when we cast the first movie, and you know, right in retrospect, it seems like, well, of course that's who you would cast. But at the time, it was not obvious casting.
Magic is deception, but deception designed to delight, to entertain, to inspire. Like with the first two movies, when I first read this script, I was kind of just taken aback by the imagination behind it. It's kind of has like action movie elements, but all of the action is like this really brilliant, clever, mostly non-violent kind of trickery.
Guys, Houdini's straitjacket.
Yes, it is. Hey, can I put you in here for old time's sake?
No. I really enjoyed my first experience on Now You See Me, and then I was pregnant, unfortunately, when we shot number 2. So I was thrilled when Bobby Cohen shot me an email saying, call me, I've got good news, and just that all the pieces had come together.
The reason I was most excited to come back to the third installment of this franchise is because of the cast. I adore everyone, and the idea of traveling the world with them and laughing with them again was a very exciting prospect to me.
Let's see some magic.
I mean, I love these movies. I feel like every time they're gratifying, you know, it's like there's just something delicious about them, you know, that you have a lot of really funny stuff.
I thought it was funny.
Thanks a lot. You want to come in?
No. All right. You got magic, you got the heist or whatever it ends up being in the story of the... I guess every time there's been some heisting going on.
It is a 10 million to 1 shot.
Those are my kind of odds.
It's just the kind of stuff that I love. It's just reliant on like really imaginative ideas of kind of how to outsmart whoever they're trying to outsmart. In this case, it's this kind of corrupt diamond scion.
There's something about the spirit of the films where it's just like pure entertainment, pure fun. You know what you're going to go see. You just want to see some amazing tricks, have a wild ride. And so the tone of those movies fits very much in the wheelhouse of what I do. I feel like I make movies for audiences, and my ultimate goal with my films is just to entertain.
The writing process is always sort of a very fluid process, and there isn't a straight line to doing it, right? So first you're trying to figure out what's the movie about on a larger level. And we knew, again, on the larger level, it was going to be about the old team.
I'm really trying not to take any of this personally, but please, can you tell me, did the eye contact you directly?
Yeah.
You too?
Yes.
Well, why didn't you call me sooner?
I'm so sorry. I had to find a babysitter. Everything happened like that.
There's just something about them, and I don't think that that's only because it's about magicians doing heroic things. I have to imagine it's because of the characters. And at this point, everybody really knows the assignment, what their character is here to do.
Because in this movie, I'm not only that same character who's kind of arrogant. Bosco Leroy, what did you type fictional magician name into ChatGPT? But I'm also leading these 3 young magicians, and I feel kind of condescending towards them. All leading to your riskiest theft to date, my identity.
You were there?
You had our faces plastered on every scaffolding and subway stop in the city. That's copyright infringement, by the way. Of course I was there. I'm both trying to teach them and shepherd them, but I'm also irritated that they sometimes don't listen to me. And so there's a kind of interesting shade in this movie to my character, which is one of feeling both competitive with these young people who I think don't know anything, and then ultimately impressed by what they're able to pull off.
Well, we don't need you, so. Bosco, what do we need this guy for? We're crushing it.
You're crushing it? You're stealing a little money from some crypto, bro. I am talking about big fish here, man. I'm talking about something that will make a real difference.
It was so fun to come back. Over the years, Jesse Eisenberg and I have exchanged emails around, like, I don't know, accommodation for movies, or we've like passed at various functions. But I hadn't seen Dave. I've seen Woody a lot because he's in my sort of social group. And then Lizzie, of course, we made Bachelorette together. So to be back together has been so much fun.
I laugh with this cast probably more than any movie I've ever been on. We have the dumbest inside jokes, the dumbest games that we have returned to for over 15 years now.
This really silly game called Hands, where, well, fingers, but we like guess each. It's so I'm not even gonna embarrass ourselves by telling you how simple and basic this game is, and yet how much we're obsessed with it.
That involved trying to guess a finger on a hand. It's even simpler than I just described it, but I just love them. And you know, these movies, we're doing pretty crazy sequences that are physically and emotionally taxing, but because of the cast, we're laughing the whole way through, and it all moves so seamlessly.
This is my this is my 6th project with Jesse. And I wish I could do every project with Jesse. I just truly love that guy.
Now that I know I'm worth $500 million.
I still think we got ripped off, but it's good to see.
You know, Jesse and Woody were in these movies in addition to my movies, and so there's just these natural overlaps. And to me, if you can capture that and it conveys on screen, it's such a beautiful thing. And coming into this, I had been told that they all get along super well and they love each other. Obviously, there was the original 4, and then there was the 4 of the second movie, but not all 5 of them had been together. So it was nice to be able to bring them all together. And Isla and Lizzie, you know, got along great, which was terrific.
I was thinking, I feel like we should start our own group, you guys. Oh, a girls' magic group? Yes.
Horse girls.
No, not that.
We're horsewomen.
Not that.
And she has this really sardonic wit that she has in the second movie, and she's just really dry.
Bonsoir.
And she's hilarious. And Lizzie is very funny. She makes us laugh a lot. We were in a water tank for a week, and honestly, Lizzie had us in stitches.
There's just nothing she won't try, and it's the most fun type of person to work off of. I don't need to do anything. She just comes and brings so much, and I just gotta react to what she's given me.
It's always really important for Dave, Franco, and I to make our few moments together really build on the relationship that we established in the second one and kind of feed that while also, you know, maintaining like the zaniness. And the massive scope. They seem to keep getting bigger and bigger, these films. And so really, I'm sure if you like tallied up everybody's screen time, there's not a ton of time to really get those moments in, but at this point, everybody knows what they're supposed to be doing. And I think that it's gotten to a place that's really polished, and we kind of get to finish those stories or continue those stories within this insane framework.
I believe strongly that, you know, you cast the right actors to play these parts and just kind of let them do what they do. Since I'm not a writer myself, I'm less precious about the words and it's more about the feeling.
And the thing that's also just been really fun, and here's the part about movie making, no matter what kind of movie you're making that you don't know, is there's an alchemy to it and there's a mystery to it, and you don't know if the actors are going to bond. And one of the things that's been why it's been such a joy making these movies, starting on the first 2, is that the original cast, you know, yes, Jesse and Woody knew each other, but the rest of the cast didn't know each other, and they absolutely adore each other. And they have so much fun making these movies. And again, that's one of those other things that's intangible. When actors are having fun making the movie, the audience senses that, and it's giving them permission to have fun, because it makes the movie audience feel like, I wish I was one of those people. I wish I was there. I wish I was a horseman.
Whew. It is very good to be back.
All right. Here we go. Here we go.
I mean, I love these movies. I feel like it's pretty gratifying for audiences, and I was deeply concerned that we could do it a third time, and I think Ruben Fleischer at the helm is a wonderful thing. I think he's an amazing director.
You know, Ruben I have a great rapport with. I really, really admire what he's able to do, which is kind of run these movies that, to me, it feels like running like, I don't know, like a major league sport or like the Barnum and Bailey circus. There's like 10,000 moving parts, and yet he is so great about dealing with actors, focusing on character stuff, and they want us to do something that the Horsemen never could. That was the Horsemen that the Horsemen never could. Come here. Now, we were just like you guys. That's where it feels like it picks up.
That sounds like a good place.
We were just like you guys. Yeah.
Let's do that.
Okay.
Cool. There were a lot of reasons why I was excited to come aboard the Now You See Me franchise. The most obvious reasons are Woody Harrelson and Jesse Eisenberg, who I've worked with now. This is my 4th movie with each of them. We met on Zombieland, and then I made 30 Minutes or Less with Jesse, and Zombieland 2 with Jesse, and now this is our 4th movie. And then with Woody, it was the Zombieland movies, and then also Venom. So they were the big draw.
And I just feel like he's able to come in and he just has real vision. And he really likes this franchise, so it was exciting to me to have him on board, you know, because, you know, doing a 3rd one, you never know. Is it still going to be any good? But knowing that Ruben was doing it was very exciting.
To have a lot of fun. It's going to be a busy 3 days with a lot of action, a lot of magic, and a lot of performances. But we're grateful for everyone being here. We're grateful to have you guys co-star in this movie with us.
I've been a fan of Ruben's forever. He and I sort of share a similar love and passion for a kind of movie that used to be made all the time, which was to be really fun, really commercial, but also smart.
You know, he's also someone who wants to make a movie that's going to be fun for the audience to watch, and that's why I want to make it. That's why I think everyone wants to make it. We want audiences to have a great time.
There's something about the spirit of the films where it's just like pure entertainment, pure fun.
Ruben made me really excited because he seemed like a collaborator. He is really passionate about actors and gives them a lot of freedom to explore their character.
He's a real wealth of knowledge on comedy.
Yeah, let's start on this. Thank God! Ready? And from the top, and action!
Somebody help us! And so he really encouraged us in the moments where we had an opportunity between the stakes and the drama and the action and the kind of heist of it all to just play around within our characters. And that was really fun because whether or not he uses it in the final edit, it just felt like it was just nice to be using a skill that you have.
Wait, sorry, you two know each other?
Yeah, we know. How many female magicians do you think there are in the world?
Oh, the fact there are 3 of us in the room right now, it's like
shocking.
mind blown.
I'm surprised the universe isn't folding in on itself.
You know, the first movie we did was Zombieland, which was, again, like running like what felt to me like an amusement park, but all the actors in the movie felt like we really had something good to do. And the same thing here. There's more characters even than Zombieland, and yet we all feel like we have something, we have like our own piece of the puzzle here, which is all you could ask for, and especially in like a Hollywood movie.
I think he's the perfect director for a film like this because he's so incredibly passionate about it, and you feel it every day.
I want to do like a thumbs up or anything. It's more just, it could be like a wink or like a little smile or like a...
Yeah, that's the eye can wink on, that's the right shoulder.
Okay.
And he also allows the actors to kind of play and experiment with everything. If we want to change a line or if we want to add something or improv, whatever, he's so open to it, and that's such a refreshing kind of characteristic for a director, and it's so at least important to me to kind of have that kind of freedom and room to play.
I've never had that sort of experience before. It's just fun. Like there's so many ways you can change the scene and I guess improvise in certain ways. I haven't really had that level of freedom before, which is fun.
Ruben's background I can speak to because I was there for it. You know, his first movie was Zombieland, and there was a feeling that we had this incredible script by these really 2 incredibly talented, pioneering Hollywood writers. But there was a feeling on set like, hey, the actors are on the sets, they're in the cars, they're talking with each other. Let's see what they bring to it. And so there was just a feeling of collaboration on set that felt great.
Holy shit.
Hey, Ruben?
What's the question, my friend?
Do you think, is the sand thing supposed to be like a kind of shh, and then it's like, oh my God, or is it like a boom? You see what I'm saying?
Well, Lizzie Kaplan made a very compelling point, which is There probably would be the sound of the big hiss of something being released before the sand happens in reality as well.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
Let's
and
react
so
to
we
this.
Just play the reality. Lizzie Kaplan's reality will play.
Lizzie Kaplan!
We're reacting to that hit.
I also just don't envy anybody who directs one of these movies because, again, it's like a bunch of feral morons just not listening, and he's got to somehow corral us.
We're a team working together with the writers, with them, with myself and the creative team to just ensure that everything was as like elevated as possible. And we challenge ourselves never to just kind of settle. We always, try to push it up to the very end of when we're shooting. And what we're actually shooting tonight is a good example of that, because we had a scene where they were doing a little con at the big party, Veronica's big party at the W, and it just felt like a little Scooby-Doo. They're like, oh, you're not the security guard, I'm the security guard, and there wasn't much involved. And so the magicians came up with this cool kind of like steal a badge, present a badge, share a badge, and it won't feel like a big thing in the movie, but the point is, like, we're never settling. Like, up until the day of shooting, we're always challenging ourselves to just make sure that it's not too overly simplistic, or that it's not something that you can find in a different movie, and that it's something that's only you can find in a Now You See Me movie.
All this for a diamond.
Oh, we could use that now. Nothing cuts glass like a diamond.
But still has like a strong opinion about things, and it can be really decisive. It's not like he's a pushover or something, but there is just kind of little ideas that we'll have in the moment that he just like will be inspired to kind of set the camera and get from different angles. And I always admire directors who like don't mind taking lead from actors and like really prioritizing performance.
Ruben is the perfect director for this film because he loves to have fun. He loves magic. He's great friends with a lot of the cast. So that he promised me when we met, he said, "You will have fun on this movie. I promise you."
I love that that's a concern. Okay.
He said, we're gonna meet up at weekends, we're gonna play games, we're gonna, this is a cast of my friends and you're gonna love them. And that is exactly what's happened.
So it felt like a perfect combination of working with people I absolutely love, getting to play in a sandbox that I absolutely love, which is magic, and then also carrying on the spirit of the first two movies, which are so great and so beloved. And I think it's why I love filmmaking, because it's an inherently collaborative art form. You can't do it by yourself. And so you have to work with people who each bring their expertise to the table, and we all help bring it all to a level that hopefully when the movie comes out, we can look back and be very proud of what we've accomplished.
Hi, it's Ariana Greenblatt, and we are at the secret headquarters of the Eye. Let's go on in. If you've ever done an escape room, you'd know there are all kinds of different puzzles.
The first thing I asked Ruben, the director, when I read the script was, are we really going to be shooting what I just read? Because it just seemed so impossibly huge in scope and imaginative.
So we had this extraordinary outside structure, and then our unbelievable production designer, David Schüneman, built an incredible set with all these different rooms. And so the center of the film, most of Act 2, probably almost about 20 or 30 minutes of the movie, is going to take place in this chateau.
The interior of the chateau is definitely like a joint masterpiece between a lot of people in my department, and together with Zsuzsi Zipos, who is the set decorator of the movie, who's extremely talented on all levels. We figured out a great, also slightly fantastical, but also like very magic, like true to magic artifacts and magic history.
There's a scene where my character and Dominic's character are like being chased by the French military police in a room that turns literally 360 degrees around.
Upside down room.
The turning corridor is something that I guess isn't inherently magical, but It's something I associate with movies. Like you've seen Fred Astaire dance on the ceiling, and we all have seen Inception when gravity kind of went away.
And so I read all this stuff thinking this is a great idea for a movie script, but we're not going to be able to actually film any of this. And we've filmed not only all of that stuff, but stuff that I couldn't have even foreseen.
But I was really excited to stage a fight in this turning corridor, which just visually is so compelling, and Jesse and Dominic did so much of their own stunts that it was just so impressive.
And it's going to be this exploration of, again, all of these different rooms. It was something that, again, you were asking me about Ruben, it was something that we talked about from day one, which was, this is the ultimate wish fulfillment, because it's part clubhouse, it's part funhouse, it's like the Magic Castle, it's like every kid's fantasy.
That chateau really blew my mind. All the things that they did.
Gummies kicked in.
Based on Escher paintings, they did these stairs and everything that were just like, who comes up with this? So yeah, brilliant job with the art direction and production design and everything.
And together with Ruben and also with George, our DP, we figured out some really nice optical tricks and developed great illusion rooms for the chateau.
I wonder what we're looking for.
Anything weird?
This is all weird. Everyone was looking forward to the Ames room, and it was such a funny experience to kind of get familiar with a room that's fully like this at all times.
It's just one of those rooms where on one side you're really big, on one side you're really small, and I just thought to myself, what's a cooler environment to have a fight than that? So if you're gonna have a fight where they're just kicking and punching, let's do it in an environment that's super cool.
Did a fight scene in that room, which was incredible because as you're fighting and you're going back and forth, you're becoming big and then small, and it's so creative because it's one of those fight scenes that could only exist in these movies, and I don't know, I just thought it was brilliant, and I was just happy to be a part of it.
Where are we going? I feel like we're lost.
Similarly with Hall of Mirrors, we've seen that in movies before, but I'm really proud of the way that it all kind of evolves. There's like a lyrical, fluid quality to that.
There's all these things that kind of play with the sense of reality, that in such a cool way that I think the audience is really going to get into it, because nothing is ever as it, I shouldn't say that, but a lot is not as it appears, and it's pretty exciting.
Cool. Is nothing impressive to you?
That's why I said cool. You not know what cool means?
Okay, so come in close. Closer. Because the more you think you see, the easier it'll be to dress up old tricks and fool you that they are new.
Open sesame.
There's something about seeing magic with your very own eyes that is so astounding, and it's really hard to translate that to screen.
What's the trick?
And I feel like the first two movies did some incredible magic, but there were times where the visual effects started to become more obvious, and you knew that the only way that they could accomplish these things was with computers.
From a magical purist perspective, Ruben was really insistent that all the magic that you see in the movie is practically applicable, whereas I think in particularly number 2, some of the elements like the rain were not actually logistically possible.
What Ruben and I talked about was how can we stretch ourselves to come up with as many illusions that would be, as we say, in camera as possible.
Now, as your ads like to remind us, diamonds are forever.
And so that was sort of one of our guiding lights, which is how can we make as much of the illusions in camera?
Because I feel like that authenticity hopefully will allow the audience to feel as if they've gone to a magic show and that they are seeing things unfold right before their very own eyes.
I feel like that's Ruben's main priority in this movie, is having 99% of everything be practical, and he wants all the actors to know what they're doing and to have their magic tricks on lock, which I really respect.
And I think personally, and I hope society still believes that like real stuff is more fascinating and enjoyable to watch than just a bunch of computer-generated stuff.
It's because with special effects, you can do anything now. And so it's very hard to surprise an audience. It's very hard to create a sense of awe, a sense of mystery with an audience. And as you know, part of the thrill of seeing a magic trick, if a magician is in front of you, and he's doing a trick in front of you, you know it's a trick, but because it's 2 feet in front of you, that's where the power comes from.
Maybe cops are gonna come bursting through that door.
So perform a magic trick of your own and disappear in 3, 2, 1.
These movies are so singular, and they also mean a lot in the magic community, so it allows us the luxury and the great fortune to have some of the greatest minds, if not the greatest minds, working in magic today, not only be consultants on the movie to kind of figure out what tricks would be great to have in a movie, but also as our teachers.
The tricks that we helped design for the movie are also really based on the script. We weren't told just create magic and fit it in. Obviously, you know, the script was written and had specific effects in it. So our job was to take those effects and then try to match them up with magic methods in the real world, but then also teach them to the actors.
One of the difficulties about that is the actors are not magicians, and what people don't know or realize or constantly forget is magic is really hard. Because there are things that we've been doing for, say, 20 years, so you think, well, you just do this. Well, just doing this is something that we've done for years and years, and so it's easy to forget how difficult it is.
They were kind of working on a very micro level, working over like, you know, hand positions, you know, the thumb should be over here or not here, and working with the, you know, us on that kind of stuff for weeks.
It's such an incredible skill, and it takes so much hard work, and it involves so much dexterity, but also so much misdirection and so much sort of psychological, almost like mind games with your audience, that it's not dissimilar from acting. So I think all of us as actors really embrace the challenge.
So when Ben and I, have I ever missed the card in a rehearsal? Never. I've advertised this 1,000 times.
You know, I'm a bit of a nerd when it comes to anything on films being practical because it makes reality so much greater. And on day one, I came into the green room and the cast were like shuffling cards and doing tricks and it was all actually happening. And I realized they'd had proper training and, you know, they were just constantly palming cards and cutting decks and doing the shuffles that mean you keep everything in the order, but it looks like you've completely scrambled them.
I was working as much as I could with these magic consultants like Ben Seidman and Handsome Jack.
Thrilled, baby. We're thrilled.
Jack, I was just talking to him today. I said, you know, because I learned 2 tricks from him, and I'm like, you know, I've been doing these 2 tricks to people ever since I saw him last. I need another trick, you know?
Atlas, I would like to see you hypnotize 3 dudes in Belgian.
You mean Flemish?
Okay, that explains it.
They taught us all the tricks. Everyone worked so hard.
I've been able to spend so much time with the magic consultants and like really bond with them. And I remember before, it was like pre-production, I was going to the Magic Castle every morning to do magic rehearsal. And it was such like a surreal, weird thing to do, but I was like, this is why I love my job so much, because I get to learn random kind of skills.
Is that real gold?
What?
Is that real gold?
Yeah, I'm rich.
This is a magic show, dude. Every fool here is a pickpocket.
But by definition, all movies are illusions because everybody knows you turn the camera on. So, you know, making a rabbit disappear out of a hat on a movie doesn't necessarily have power because they go, well, you put the rabbit in the hat and then you turn the camera off and then you took the rabbit out and then you turn the camera back on.
It was important to me with a lot of the tricks to not have any edits in them so that they're shot in a continuous take or a oneer. Obviously, the biggest oneer is the magic battle at the chateau.
Which is where basically the main cast, which is whatever, 7, 8 characters, all sort of try and one-up each other with magic tricks. And they've done it all in one shot. So it's a bunch of not very easy magic tricks to accomplish, done by people who are not professional magicians, all in one shot, and it was an incredible challenge.
We're all in one shot. Everybody's meant to kind of show off to one another. It's really not for any progressing of plot, but it's like just a kind of a challenge that is issued from Jesse's character to Dom's character.
Prove to me that you don't need a babysitter.
Nailing it in one take is very complex and very difficult. So I worked with all of the actors individually to work on their specific choreography and the methods that they would be using. And then of course we put it all together, which was a big challenge.
That shot, I think we did 19 takes or something before we actually got it all together in a sequence and successful.
And it went, when we came to the day to shoot it, much better than we expected. It was a huge relief for all of us.
I think that scene, although it was tons and tons of work, and probably more work than it will even look like it is on screen, I think it is something that I'm going to be very proud of when I see it all come together in post.
And cut, bravo! Yeah!
Of course, we can use tricks here and there that maybe the audience won't be aware of, but whenever possible, I want it to feel as if, you know, these are expert magicians doing the magic right before your very own eyes.
Like, of course, we have to rely on special effects at times and even visual effects at times to augment, but it was really important for him to feel that the magic was real and grounded, and we talked a lot about that in pre-production.
So every trick in the movie, for the most part, is either something that we're actually doing or we're doing it in the exact way that a magician would do it. And so it felt like there was a little more pressure on this version of Now You See Me to kind of make sure everything felt doable, everything felt practical, even the stuff that, you know, to the average audience seems impossible, there's a story behind it.
I think when you're broaching a film, especially when you've got two films in the past and working with a new director, Ruben and I really wanted to bring a fresh element.
Sophie Canal was actually recommended to us by Rosamund Pike because they'd worked together. And so costumes are certainly not my forte, especially when it comes to women's fashion. So I wanted Rosamund to be, you know, partner with somebody that she had full confidence in and who could really make her look as, you know, dashing as she does.
I always love an opportunity to send up sort of any kind of performative aspect of our industry. So I really enjoyed when she's having her photograph taken that she, you know, she wants to get it over and done with as soon as possible, but she loves it.
Mr. Schreiber, if you're all you purport to be, you should already have what you need.
We've moved on 9 years from the previous film. So Ruben and I were discussing that, making sure that we were bringing it to a modern audience, so making sure the costumes were appropriate.
I think Sophie did the most amazing job on this movie because all the characters needed to look kind of cool and monochromatic, and then the young characters had to have their own retro, unusual, quirky, younger vibe.
And having the beauty of our 3 Gen Z characters as well, which I always find really fun, placing modern and Gen Z fashion.
You know, I always joke that that's one of the things that everybody seems to have an opinion about because most people don't know about cinematography or art direction or architecture, but everybody wears clothes, so everybody thinks they have an opinion. But it's much harder than it looks.
Lula's kind of my rock and roll girl. You know, we've had her in previous films, you know, with fur and kind of elements of, you know, rock and roll.
At like the exact right moment, they're gonna swoop in, and we'll be like, yes, thank God you're here, thank God, just in the nick of time, and then we'll just celebrate, and it was all worth it in the end.
So I wanted to push that forward and very much looked at Kate Moss really to kind of, you know, to get her look.
Yeah, so I am called Mick Fleetwood not infrequently by my castmates because I am fully wearing the outfit that he is wearing on the cover of Rumors.
And also, you know, we had both Henley and Lula in this film as well, so there needs to be, to me, a distinction within. So we kind of always said that, you know, Henley was our LA and Lula was our New York.
But we all have to fit into this palette of like magic. There can't be any bright colors, there can't be anything too contrasty. It can't feel heightened because we've already got, you know, the tricks are the thing that we want to pop.
So how do you pick the outfits? What do the outfits mean? What is the evolution of the outfits? What are you trying to say about the Horsemen? What are you trying to say about the new kids and how they dress? How they dress represents an attitude versus the attitude of the Horsemen. And what does it look like when they're all lined up in a row? So none of this can be done in a vacuum. And again, that requires everyone to be constantly thinking like a filmmaker, to be thinking like a director.
Ladies and gentlemen,
we are the Horsemen. Good night.
And so I think she just found a way of individually creating different looks for all of the characters, but we all sort of came together in a very muted, classic, cool and beautiful way. I think she's amazing.
So our costume designer, Sophie, she created some beautiful outfits that we can, certain characters can do quick changes.
The first time I read the script, I was like, oh, will this be visual effects or will this be us? And then sat down with Ruben and he was like, no, I want everything for real.
Ruben and Sophie brilliantly came up with this idea to kind of have like this skirt that folds up and the texture kind of folds in on itself. And when it comes out, it's like this honeycomb looking skirt. And I thought that was so brilliant and super cool. And yeah, I mean, they had like crazy wires that day and like invisible strings that people were pulling, and it took a lot to get it right, but at the end it looks really, really cool. And Dom's like ripping his mustache and beard off, and everyone worked really, really hard to get that right. And again, Ruben wanted it practical, so they figured it out and they killed it. I think it looks really cool, and we have multiple of those, which is awesome. I think quick changes are so fascinating to look at, especially when it's real, in real time.
So within our magic team, these magicians were not quick change artists. So then we had to look outside of the department, and they introduced us to Leah Carl, who's a French quick change artist, which people will know from America's Got Talent. And she was just incredible. And she just taught us so many ways of being able to do things.
I love that costume change that Isla does. That is spectacular. To get to see it in real time was pretty special. Like, she actually does completely change outfits before our eyes.
Good girl. I ordered her right in winter. All I know is if you watch the movie and then you slow it down later on, if you buy the movie and you watch it in slow-mo, you will see that this trick is not done with CGI. It is not done with a cut. It is done entirely by incredible magic.
So I think out of everything from the film, that was our most challenging part for costume, is being able to create quick changes, one on a film set, like within the direction of how everyone's moving and working within the set, and also, we have to think about resets and things like that, and how that's going to work on the day.
The costumes are designed not just to be worn by stylish movie characters, but are actually designed to be magic tricks themselves. And so really everybody is working in the same universe. So it's this really cool movie where it's not like we're siloed, we're actually all doing magic irrespective of our department.
Bring me my heart. We'll make an exchange. Mr. McKinney for the diamond. Outside, under the lights. And not the first hint of magic. One rabbit comes out of a hat, one ace slides out of a sleeve, and your friend goes poof. Just trying to use parlance, you'll understand. I have what you're after.
Perfect. I will meet you where the heart resides.
I can hardly wait.
As soon as we created this character of Veronica Vandenberg, I knew that we needed an actress worthy of her to pull it off.
And we want to figure out, okay, where's the story going to take us? What's the villain going to be? What's the villain plot?
And my first instinct was Rosamund Pike. I've seen her in many things, but I just recently watched her in Saltburn, and the way that she made her character so deliciously evil was exactly what I wanted with Veronica.
I love her vanity. I love how pleased with herself she is, because I know that as a villain, the higher a pedestal you put yourself on, the further there is to fall.
When I woke up this morning, there was only one thing I wanted more than my diamond. My horseman under lock and key. And now that I have both, I must admit I'm feeling a little bit spoiled.
Rosamund Pike is doing such a delightful mustache twirling villain take. I find her endlessly entertaining.
I said to Ruben when we first met, you know, this character is only going to be an interesting ingredient in your movie if she's fun. To be sort of icy or a sort of very, very, very cold and calculating.
I'm not a psychopath. You are a sad and pathetic man. I can see why you want to end it.
She'd you know, fill in the villain part of it, but she wouldn't be part of the same movie, and I think she has to be part of the same movie as everyone else.
And so she's just like, you know, a classic movie villain.
What did you say? We bury the hatchet.
In each other's necks.
He's funny.
And she is being performed with such specificity, such realism, such malevolence, but also such a grace and humor that it's just impossible to not watch her. She's so compelling, so engaging.
Work it. I don't know what's shuddering more, me or my camera.
Her demeanor and her kind of aura through the scenes, like, you can't look away. It was really, really cool.
She cares so much about her craft and what she does and inspires that in me working with her.
Bullets catch.
It's impossible.
No, just magic.
I wanted somebody that the audiences love to hate. And I knew that she would, A, be able to portray a South African diamond heiress without any issues, because her aptitude with accents is unparalleled.
I don't want to be too matte.
Sure.
But I don't like the sides of my nose shining.
Okay.
And, you know, I had to learn about the trade in rough diamonds and how the polishing happens elsewhere and, you know, how diamonds are sorted. I didn't even know that, you know, the actual stones that are found are never touched after they're discovered. People put on these gloves. You know, if you can imagine, there's a glass screen here and my hands are touching the stones, but there's no way I could pull my hands through. So it's this huge sort of interesting details of the diamond industry that I had no idea about.
So to the AWDC, it's $3 million, but to William, priceless.
But then also just the grace, the beauty, you know, the refined nature of the character she just has inherently as a person.
She's a great actor, and what she's bringing to this character, to me, is just thrilling. It's so funny and so twisty and so graceful that it's like hard not to like her in the moment.
Care to reveal yourself? Then we can apply the same scrutiny to you.
Not just yet.
And then, you know, she's so devilishly evil, but deliciously so, that you just absolutely love everything she's doing, even though it's all, you know, she's a villain.
She could turn the villainry on when she needs to, but she is anything but a villain in real life. She is the kindest, sweetest ray of sunshine.
She's like just the coolest girl. Like, you just want her to like you. She's so nice. She's so down to earth. She's down for whatever.
It would be quite funny to see somebody that, yeah, Veronica's.
Yeah, that's fun.
She loves having 4 syllables. Veronica.
Veronica's.
Yes.
You know, she and I have like one good one-on-one scene together. And yeah, I was just told my friend that day, it was like one of the most exhilarating days I've had on set because she's so fun to work with.
But Marie Antoinette didn't die because of a diamond. She died because of a monstrous lack of empathy.
Well,
my first day was with Jessie, who I admire so much in you know, everything from Social Network to Fleischman is in Trouble to these movies to Zombieland, obviously, which he did with Ruben. He's just so clever and sharp and witty, and you know, his delivery is so cool. And I was very excited to play off that, and it absolutely didn't disappoint.
Because the character she's doing is just, it's so nasty and makes you shiver, and yet it's totally, you know, it's like watching a car crash or something. You just can't take your eyes off of it.
You join the show? You're just going to stand there gawking or get my car back? You did this.
Those were among my favorite scenes to film, just because you get to see them go tete-a-tete, whether it's Woody and her in the jail cell, or her and Tabang, the relationship that they cultivated with his character, Letabo, or it's when the entire crew of horsemen are opposite her. You know, she just shines. And I really hope that the audiences love her as much as I do.
Lovely to see you. Oh, I can still remember the taste of the mohodu. Oh, thank you so much again for your hospitality. Hello, it's lovely to see you again. It's thank you for all your help with, and you, thank you, my goodness, thank you for all your support in getting this off the ground. Thank you. Good evening. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Thank you for coming. It's been a pleasure.
You'd have made your father proud today, Veronica.
Ooh. Come on then, Latabo. What's with the look?
I'm worried about the heart, V. I'm not sure if it's necessary for us to take our most precious diamond to Antwerp.
Relax, it's just a rock.
Just a rock. You can't mean that. It's the foundation of our company. It hasn't left the vault in 22 years.
All the more reason for it to do so now. You know our buyers. Their pulses never rise, even when they're slitting throats. We're not going to sell it. We're just going to show it off before we open the bidding and watch the eyes grow wide and the purse strings loosen. Who put that here? Never mind. I'll ask around.
Hey, my man, you're that magician, right? What's your name?
No hablo inglés, lo siento.
Oh, come on, you ain't no Poppy, dude. Come on.
Deme un paz, cabrón. Uno más, por
Nah,
favor.
don't play that game with me. You're the magician. Yo, Lisa, it's the magician from YouTube. You know, Merlin? It's freaking Merlin. I love that.
Merritt. So you are him? I don't do magic anymore, so adios, muchacho.
Yo, Lisa, get over here.
My name's not Lisa, it's Leslie.
You misheard me. I said Leslie. This is my friend Merlin over here. He's gonna do some magic for us. How about you hypnotize me real quick?
You do not want to go down this road, buddy. Trust me.
What, you forgot your wand? You didn't bring the rabbit in that hat? You're too old? You lost your mojo? Looks like hell, doesn't it?
Okay, you ask for it. I'm coming out of retirement just for you.
See what I do? That's how I move.
Now, Leslie, simple name, easy to remember. You are what, 18? You're a freshman, you're on spring break, so it's your first vacation away from your mom.
Yeah.
Interesting. Now, what about you, Romeo?
I'm a senior.
Okay. All right, well, I'm gonna do some mind reading to see what, if anything's going on inside that little brain of yours, Casanova. So, let's see. Whoa, that's kind of weird. I am sensing a tiny worm. Oh, it's my mezcal. Muchas gracias. So, sorry, back to you. You say you're in college?
Arizona State. Sun Devils, baby.
Oh, I'm getting the devil part, but not the sun. Okay, hold on. This is weird. You see how his hair is slightly darker than his eyebrows? That tells me that he's covering some gray. So either finals are quite stressful, or he's 25, 6, 9. You're not 30.
You're 30.
You're 30. Yeah.
This guy's a joke. Let's get out of here.
And if I'm not mistaken, by that faded tan line on your ring finger, you're also recently divorced? Ooh, still married. That's a little awkward. Please tell me you don't have kids. You have 2 kids.
2 kids? Ew.
They must be a handful. You have any cool pictures? Does she remind you of your daughter?
Cool trick, dude. I hope you're happy.
Well, no, I'm not. I haven't been in years. But let's do this again the next time you're, conning a co-ed. Okay.
Big round of applause for Debbie! That was pretty wild, right? Well, it's about to get, let me hear you say it!
Wilder?
That's right, Wilder! Okay, I'm sure you guys have all seen a magician saw a lady in half before, but trust me, I've never seen it quite like this. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for my lovely assistant, Jessica!
Okay, you got this, babe. Just keep wiggling those tootsies. You got it.
Time check.
30 seconds. You can do it.
Oh, you were doing so great. What are you looking at? Your kid's drinking a soda.
Okay, you got it.
13. Nice. 12. 11. 10. I did it!
Yeah, you did. 10 seconds to spare.
Now I want to do it handcuffed underwater like you used to.
Okay, sister, slow it down. Let's just do handcuffs on dry land for now.
What's that?
Oh, it's just something from Mommy's old job. Have you got your paperclip? Let's go. I'm gonna give you 20 seconds this time. You reckon you can do it?
Yeah.
Ugh, creepy.
So I obviously underestimated you with the door back there.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Everyone does. It kind of comes with the territory. Yeah, people look at me and think I'm just a helpless young girl.
Yeah, well, I won't make that mistake again.
You know, it actually used to really bother me. I would like fight to prove that I was more than that. But it's fine. I use it to my advantage now, so.
What?
Yeah.
What is that?
It's a bad habit. This is yours, right?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Remember when I said I would stop underestimating you? Starting now.
Right. Cool.
Whoa. Oh, it's okay.
What do we do?
We use the room.
Next up, the great Jay Wilder. You used to rob from the rich and give to the poor, but now you just perform for them like a well-paid court jester. I'm sure I can count on you to sell out. How much is it going to cost me to get my diamond back?
Eat a dick.
Oh, that's a shame. I was hoping it wouldn't come to this. Letabo?
Well, hey, let her go. Come on. Hey!
Where's my diamond?
Okay, I'm sorry.
You, no.
I'll tell you everything I know, Miss Vanderbilt. I'll tell you everything I know. I'll take you to the dining, please. I don't want to
Was that so hard? Let's go.
Hey, don't take her, take me, okay? Just come on. Shoot! Shit!
What the hell? Shit.
When I woke up this morning, there was only one thing I wanted more than my diamond. My horseman under lock and key. And now that I have both, I must admit I'm feeling a little bit spoiled.
Sorry to disappoint you, but you don't have the diamond, okay? We took it.
Did you?
Yeah.
But a very famous but rather conceited magician once told me, every good trick has a twist. And I would argue that every great trick has two. Are you going to stand there gawking, or are you going to get my car back? While you were prepping your little performance, I curated a trick of my own. 5 horsemen, trapped, no escape. You 5 may be national treasures, but we have those here too. Only they're hard to find, because they're buried in sand.
It's working! The tank's filling up!
You know, if you close your eyes, you can imagine you're on a tropical beach, sand in your toes.
You open them back up, you realize you're in a death trap designed by a maniac.
Ever the cynic. This is gonna work.
Right?
It has to.
I can't believe we pulled that off. I'm actually kind of digging this crime fighting thing.
I'm just like trying to wrap my mind around the whole thing. You knew I would be at the karaoke bar.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, but how?
You're very predictable, Atlas.
I am
Like
anything
but predictable, Bosco.
Okay.
See?
And you are officially my hero. Okay, I am impressed, humbled, embarrassed, the whole thing.
Coming from you, that means a lot.
Hey, I knew you had a personality hidden under all that genius.
Pshaw. Thank you.
I wasn't talking to you.
Oh, no, he has genius too. Yeah, no, all of you guys.
That's sweet, yeah. But it actually wasn't just the 3 of us. We had a little help.
If you're seeing this, it means I'm no longer among the living. But mercifully, it also means that you are. Don't mourn for me. I've lived a life of magic and mystery. But that's not the end, my horseman. Veronica was a big fish, but the ocean is a vast place, and there are threats everywhere. This house is now yours. June, Bosco, and Charlie, you are the new stewards, and the rest of you, I'm trusting to keep an eye on them. So carry on, my horsemen, because as ever, the closer they look, the less they'll actually see.